something's missing. That's more like it, and I'm not talking about the game itself here, as there's nothing wrong with a good retro blast of Defender. No, this time I'm checking out the music. Wipeout 2097 is an excellent game, but when it was released, it was also heralded for its built-in library of dance tracks to complement the gameplay. These tracks also stood alone and were sold as a separate album. They were much more than just background music for a computer game. The choice of music included tracks from bands like the Chemical Brothers and a couple of tunes exclusive to the album. Wipeout 2097 has the most high-profile soundtrack of any game yet, but many other software companies are realizing the importance of music in their games. The Dig took its inspiration not from techno, but from the classical composer Wagner.
What the music will do when it's really working in a game is it will respond well to the player's actions, so that it's as if there's a custom score for each performance of the game that a player plays, and that really draws the player in. It makes them feel like they're part of that universe.
One game of which this is certainly true is Broken Sword, which has 3 hours of specially composed music by the talented conductor Barrington Feelong. It's not just a basic score, the music changes as you go around different parts of the game to match the mood of the moment. More often than not, games music is less classical and more hardcore. It began with those catchy little tunes we hummed from games like Mario and Tetris. A couple, like this one, were good enough to be funked up and made into pop singles. But now games are infiltrating the club scene, and it's Sega's turn to pump up the volume. They've collaborated with the record company Suburban Bass, who've taken sound effects from games and revamped them into tracks. This is the melodic tune from the original game of Knights, but throw on your new Club Sega CD and you can bop along to the Knights drum and bass mix. Alternatively, funk it up with Baku Baku. Or get down to a house mix for Sonic 3D. The Club Saturn album reinforces the generally held belief that companies like Sega are seeking credibility with an older audience of game players and music lovers alike, and it won't stop here. As music in games is now perceived as cool, more and more software companies are opting for specially composed music. It's just one more sign that computer gaming itself is growing up, and joining forces with the music biz, possibly the biggest entertainment industry in the world, can only be good news. And that's music to our ears, because you can't beat a great soundtrack to back a great game.